to another episode of Living Room Wisdom, where your story is your glory. Today, we're going to talk about life systems that support your expansion. And I know that a lot of times when I'm talking about certain things, you resonate and you're like, yes, that's exactly what I'm feeling. But how do I move through that? How do I realign? How do I actually create that life on my terms? And so today I want to share with you some of the systems. And the first step of the system is just to acknowledge that there is misalignment. A lot of times we feel things in our bodies, we are intuitively knowing that something might not be right for us, whether it's a relationship, a job opportunity, or a contract. Even friendships, so often we outgrow friendships, but we stay in those friendships and make it work because we feel like that's what we should do. Maybe we have a lot of time in that relationship or in that job. You know what I'm talking about. Well, just because you've put in time doesn't always mean that it's for you. So you want to take that moment to acknowledge what you're feeling so that you can go a little deeper and start figuring out why you're feeling that way. The second step that you want to take is to disconnect. Give yourself permission to pause, step away from that situation, and get clear on what it is that you're feeling. Sometimes it's maybe something that has triggered us, and it's not necessarily the relationship, the position, the job, whatever it is. It might be something within us that's yearning for attention. Other times, yes, there might be something in the relationship or the experience, right? The situation that is not for you. And so part of taking that pause to disconnect, I personally am a journaler. So if I kind of brain dump what I'm feeling, what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing on paper, then I can go back and take a look and say, okay, is this really what I was feeling it was in that moment? Am I creating this story in my head? What's really true? When you unattach from the emotion of situations in the moment, take that step away, really get clear, then it helps you to move forward in a way that's most aligned with the truth of who you are, but also the outcome that you're looking to achieve. So that's the second step, disconnect. The third step is to reconnect. But how do we reconnect? Personally, my preferred way to reconnect is silence. I really enjoy cutting off all of the other voices and making space to hear my own. I'm also a big meditation person, so that might be something that you consider. I know that many high achieving people or busy people have so much going on in their head that it's actually hard for them to sit and meditate. It's definitely a practice. It's something that needs to be cultivated. But what happens when you actually exhibit the discipline to sit, nobody says that all of that swirling and busyness that's going on in your head is just going to stop because you sat in your meditation corner. That's okay. You just want to notice it. Disconnecting, stopping, pausing to reconnect allows you to notice all of the noise that is constantly running in the back of our heads. A lot of people call that monkey mind. When you sit in meditation or just take a pause to breathe, reconnect with your breath, you'll start to hear all of the voices. I like to identify those voices. Oh, you know what? That's not even me. That's my mom's voice. Or that's not even me. That's my boss's voice. That's not even me. That's my old mentor's voice, right? So if you give yourself the permission and the space to sit with all of the swirling that's going on in your head, identify whose voices they are, and then ask yourself, but is that what I believe? Is that what I feel? Is that what resonates with me? You'd be really surprised at the answers that you come to. So once you acknowledge and disconnect and then reconnect, then the next step you want to do is you want to say, does this decision, does this next step that I'm taking align with my core values? Is my response aligning with my core values? My top 3 core values are freedom, play, and love. So if I'm in a situation that's a little bit uncomfortable or combative, the first core value that I'm always going to go back to is love, right? Because if I approach that situation in love, then that's going to bring compassion. That's going to bring empathy. It's going to trigger me to close my mouth and open my ears so that I can hear what the other person is and is not saying, and then come up with the appropriate response. So this is very, very helpful in your relationships. It's also very, very helpful in business. It's helpful with difficult clients. It's helpful with your children. In all situations, that pause, checking back in with yourself and your core values and responding in a way that's worthy of you is going to make all the difference in the world. You also want to align your daily choices and your calendar, your time, your energy with the truth of who you are. So if you're someone like me who tends to lean towards being a kind of a hermity, I really like being in my own space. I really love being alone. I'm an only child. Then you want to honor that. You want to create your schedule and manage your time and your energy according to who you know you are so that you can show up as your best self. I'm more of an introvert. People never believe it because I'm such like a big personality when I go out, and I do love people, but to a point. I'm the girl that I'm going to go to the party, and after about an hour, I'm ready to go. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to slip out quietly, and you're going to be like, where the hell did Patrina go? Right? So what's your natural state? Are you an extrovert? Do you love people? If you're an extrovert, you're actually energized being with people. But I do want to add this nuance that you're energized being with the right people. I'm energized being with the right people, only for a time. So know who you are, honor who you are, and arrange your whole life, your schedule according to who you are. There are all kinds of systems if you're getting really creative, even in a work environment where you can't change the people you work with. Maybe you can't change your boss or your team that you're working with, but you can change yourself. We're the only thing we can control ever. And so there's creative ways to shift things very minutely that will bring us a completely different result and a different experience that allows us to maintain our grounding, that allows us to maintain our peace, our joy, and feel fulfilled no matter what the situation might be. Because we all know everything's not always going to be roses. So next, let's talk about clarifying what we really want. This one for me is interesting, and I've done a lot of masterminds where we talk about this. What do you really want? There's all the opportunities in the world. We live in an age where information is very accessible. Opportunities are everywhere. So what is it that you want? A lot of times you hear the normal things. I want a big house. I want the nice car. I want lots of money. That's very vague. I actually do a exercise with my clients, the women that I work with, and we outline in detail what it is that you really want, but then we also attach a number to it. What is the real number? What is the real income or the money that you need to have in order to live that life? And many of them are surprised that it's a lot less than what they imagined. Right? So we've been told that, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to have to be successful or to be happy. And it's just not true. You get to create your life now as heaven on earth just by being creative, just by taking intentional steps and being clear on what that goal, what's required for that goal. I have actually some really great stories about that. One of them I'll share right now. One of my clients who came to one of my masterminds, she also came to my Pure Abundance retreat. So she's been in my space multiple times. As a matter of fact, she worked with us in the book as well. She was miserable. She had created a situation for herself where she thought she needed X amount of money to be happy, X amount of money to live her life, right? Pay her bills and still be able to have fun. Well, what she realized is that she had taken on 2-3 jobs. She was working all the time. She was stressed out. She wasn't resting. She was overextending herself, 100% living in the hustle. and burning out unknowingly. She came to the mastermind. We worked through some of these exercises that we talked about, and she had a huge breakthrough during the event. After the event, I want to say maybe only about 2 months after the event, she completely changed her entire life based on the things that she realized about herself during that mastermind. She ended up getting rid of her place. She packed up, decided to be nomadic, started traveling the world as a house sitter and a pet sitter. Funny thing is, she didn't even like pets before doing that. But it was the next step for her to create heaven on earth. Her main business was something she could do digitally, remotely from anywhere in the world. But she had been binding herself to, a location dependent jobs in order to create that additional income to maintain a lifestyle she had created but didn't even really freaking want. Right? So this is one of my favorite examples of somebody who took these steps, went through the framework, and decided that she was ready to change her reality. And so now I see her on social media, and it just warms my heart seeing her live her fullest, most fulfilling life and doing things she never thought she'd be able to do until she had X amount of dollars or until she accomplished certain things. So it can be done. I have lots of stories of people who have done it, including myself, over and over again. So get honest about what you really want. At my core, I remember when I was young, I always used to say, all I want is love. And to a point, that's a little delusional because we live in a world where we do need money, right? But when I think about it, even now with the awareness that I have as a mature woman who understands that money is one of the keys to access and freedom, at my core, it's still what I want. It's very simple. I want love. I want freedom. I want to be able to play all day, And what I know now is that there's a certain amount of financial prosperity that needs to be available in order to make those things happen. So when you get clear on what you want, the how can shift, the what can shift, what's required. So it's an exercise worth doing. Just sit and be really honest with yourself. So let's talk about feeling the joy now. I think that a lot of us somehow just mute our joy. It's almost as if we feel bad for being so blessed, because in reality, there's not really too many people who live in the United States who are not blessed on some level. And not to say that you want to compare yourself to other people, but acknowledge and be really grateful for everything you have, right? When you rest and build and create from a place of gratitude, you attract so many more incredible opportunities, and you can actually feel fulfilled now. So stop postponing your happiness, waiting until you reach the goal. I want you to start celebrating along the journey, right? I think that we've been told or we've seen, because honestly, I feel like we learn more from what we see and than what we're told. So we see people who not self-sabotage, what's the word I'm thinking of, where they really just put themselves in a position to not celebrate themselves or even acknowledge themselves in a lot of cases until they reach the goal. It's like, until I do this, I'm not going to take a vacation. Until I hit this particular monetary goal, I'm not going to go out to eat. Until I do X, right? You understand what I'm saying? I have a different take on that. For me, every step of the journey is a reason to celebrate, and it doesn't always have to be something that costs money. So it could be, I'm going to do these 3 tasks today that I committed to doing, that I must do. And once I accomplish them, I'm going to go take a walk on the beach. Or I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And once I hit this milestone, I'm going to take myself roller skating, whatever it is. So find ways, for me, I love rooftop bars. So whatever it is, find ways to celebrate your small successes, and then that will keep you keep your momentum for building the bigger successes. And then embody joy, because joy is a magnet. It really is. So let's talk a little bit about the cost of always being in a space where you feel like you have to prove your worth. Part of the cost of that is that you begin to isolate, not because you're an introvert and you like being by yourself like me, but because you don't feel worthy. You don't feel worthy of being in certain rooms. You don't feel worthy of certain opportunities because you've been telling yourself these lies about what you're not instead of reaffirming what you are, right? You'll put yourself in a position of avoidance where you need help, you want support, you want opportunities, but you won't ask. And you don't ask because you're like, well, I don't want to bother so-and-so, or, oh, they're so busy that you understand? I know you've been there. And what that does is it just robs you of opportunities to be supported. It robs you of opportunities of being seen and heard in the right rooms that could lead to other opportunities. So I want to encourage you to stop hiding. Stop hiding. Own your worth, whatever level that is right now. Find something within yourself that you can celebrate, acknowledge, and feel really confident about, and walk in that. Another thing we do is we begin to shapeshift. We shapeshift and we try to fit into rooms we don't actually belong in. So if you're not in a room of people that are celebrating you and uplifting you, people that see your gifts, see your talents, then maybe that's not your room. Find another one or go create it for yourself. And then lastly, just living out of alignment. With truth, you should be feeling enough, right? Just embracing your own truth brings about a certain level of courage. It brings about a certain level of confidence that nobody could buy, right? When you truly believe in what you're here to do, when you believe in your own power, or even if you don't believe it now, honestly, if you tell yourself enough times what a bad bitch you are, you become a bad bitch. So own that. Be audacious enough to grow into the person that you know you're here to become. And I want to help you do that. So today I'm going to gift you the audiobook, not a preview, but the full audiobook of Anatomy of Abundance. So if you go in the show notes, you can put in the coupon code podcast gift, and that'll give you access to the entire Anatomy of Abundance audiobook. And this is meant to help be a guide for you on your journey to take those small steps and eventually string them together to create big, big success, whatever that success means to you. So with that said, I'm just really excited that you joined me today. I hope that you took at least one or two things that you can go away and implement today that can change the way that you show up, the way that you feel about yourself, the way that you function through life on a daily basis, so that you can experience what I get to experience every day, which is embodied abundance and a sense of freedom. So I'll see you next time. Subscribe. Join us again next week here at Living Room Wisdom, where your story is your glory. Let's create it together.